Is a lot of your motivation to be able to retire comfortably after fighting?
Absolutely, it has to be. I mean, what's the point of fighting and the next thing you know, you retire and you got shit to show? I mean, what's the point? It's with anything in life. You know, you work your whole entire life, and next thing you know, you're retired, and you look in your 401k, you look at your IRA, you look at your SEP, and it's just zero. I mean, what was it all for? You know what I mean? Like, what was it for? So he's like, back up, dog, back up, back up.
So how does it feel to be back? This is it, fight week.
It feels good. You know, I'm feeling good. Weight's coming good. You know, eating. Found out, learned something new every single day. I found out range-free chicken eggs. When you hard boil them, the yolk is orange instead of yellow. So learn something new every day.
I see you have a little bit of a bruise here. How long does it take you to recover for your next fight?
To recover from our next fight, it all depends on the fight itself, you know. Typically, my last fight, I broke my hand, even though I broke my hand. So that took a little bit longer. But it just depends on how the fight goes.
What are you expecting Saturday?
I expect a war. You know, Ray Borg, he's tough, he's young. And you always expect a war. I've always expected wars from any of my fights.
Have you always had this attitude about prize fights, like, I gotta get paid? I mean, like, your first few fights, I know, first 10 fights, you're not making a living.
No, I know, that's why I was working full time, you know. My first fight in the UFC career, Faki Yamamoto, I made 5 and 5, he made 15 and 15. So he still made more money than me even when I beat him. But that's just the way the sport is. It's always had how it's been, and yeah.
Is it changing? Now you're fighting for paychecks rather than like martial artists and fighting for competition?
Yeah, I'm still a martial artist. That will always come first, you know. The only reason, like, for example, if somebody says, hey, you're doing this fight for free, would I be doing it? Absolutely not. You know, if I was going to be doing this for free, I'll put knee pads, shin pads, 16-ounce gloves on, 14-ounce gloves on, and like, because the reason why I'm doing this is because I need to go to work on Monday. So, and that's how it was for me when I was an amateur. You know, I did it just for fun. It wasn't to one day be a world champion because that wasn't attainable. So I would, you know, train in the gym, and I'll just do it for a side of kind of like competition, not really to this level of magnitude.
You're one win away from UFC history. How much does that weigh on you? How much do you think about that?
You know, I don't think about it a lot, and I don't let it weigh on me because, you know, as an athlete, you have to stay focused and you have to go out there and execute, you know, what you've been doing in the gym for 8 weeks or 10 weeks. So right now I'm focused on that, but once I solidify that and attain it, ask me at the press conference.
You're going to be fighting in front of a sold-out arena. Does that make more nerves for you to defend your title?
It doesn't make more nerves. You know, I've wrestled in front of like huge, you know, Tacoma Dome. I don't know how many seats, probably seats 55,000 people. I've wrestled in front of people like that. I've also fought in front of sold-out crowds before, but I'm absolutely grateful that the people in Canada have came out and shown their support and sold the place out.
What do you have to say to Ray Borg?
Nothing. Just come prepare. Let's do this.
Where do you rank yourself among the UFC fighters of all time then, if you're 1 win away from breaking Anderson?
I don't rank myself or anything like that. You know, that's for the public to see fit, do whatever they want to do. So I see for the fans.
Are you an underrated 10-time defender?
You know what? That's up to the people. Like I said, whether I'm appreciative or underrated or unappreciative doesn't change the way I go about living my life. So why should I put so much effort to worry about that, I guess you could say.
So fight week coming up with the open workouts and the weigh-ins. Do you look forward to doing that in front of the public?
Yeah, I look forward to doing open workouts. It's another workout, another time for me, a time slot I can get a workout in, burn some calories. I'll move around, show show the fans what they're going to be able to see. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Demetrious, have you gotten your ESPY yet? The last week
I got my ESPY.
When did it come?
It came actually that Wednesday when I got back home, I believe. I put Dave Lockett in charge, and Dave got it for me, and I'm happy about it.
Showed up like in the mail, like in the box?
Showed up in the box, in the mail.
Where are you keeping it?
It's right next to my my Black Panther mask. I don't have the trophy room set up, so.
If you have anything set up in your house for pictures, accolades, anything like that, or you just when it's family time, it's not UFC time.
Yeah, I mean, if you walk in my house, you wouldn't even know that I was a mixed martial artist or I have a UFC belt. All that stuff's in my office. I don't get to go in my office because it's my stream room. So other than that, you walk through my house, you won't see any pictures. But I think that would change, coming up here in a couple of weeks. And, I'm in the process of building my another house.
We saw Conor cross over into boxing. Have you thought of crossing over into professional esports?
Professional esports? No. That's a whole different ball game. These guys are putting like 3,000 plus hours into the game. Obviously, if I have the opportunity to do it, absolutely. Would I be able to compete? Probably not. Compete with those guys because that's what they do for a living. That's like asking an esport athlete to come here and fight me in the UFC. It ain't gonna happen.
Did you think I was gonna say boxing?
I thought you were gonna say boxing. Yeah, to be honest with you, yeah. How so? Yeah, I can participate in esports. I mean, I just can't participate in anything that's like more like combat. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've already competed in an invitational before, and if they give me the opportunity to go play video games and compete against the best, why not? I mean, if anything, they should encourage it because I can bring more fans, more of the gaming fans to mixed martial arts. Like that's what I would do.
How do you see this fight going, and how do you want it to go if you can dictate it?
Oh, I mean, if I can dictate it, I hope I go in there and blow the roof off and not sustain any injuries. That's all I care about. I just don't like being injured. Like, for me, if they're like, oh, like when I get my hands wrapped, I'm like, wrap my hands, pat it, because I don't want to break my fucking hands. I've had injuries in this sport, and it's probably one of the worst things to get in this sport.
Do you ever visualize what the next 5-6 years of your career will look like and what you would want it to look like?
Oh, well, I don't visualize it, but I know what I want it to look like. A lot more money and no injuries. And
what kind of win streak would you want to? If you could accrue, if you had a magic number, do you have a magic number for consecutive title defenses?
Until I retire. I mean, unless a super fight comes up. And when I mean a super fight, I mean super money, big money, not same pay. So, yeah, we'll see.
Well, Cody Garbrandt has said that he's interested in moving down to 125 if he beats TJ Dillashaw. If he was still the champion, would that be a super fight that you consider?
Yeah, obviously we'll sit down and talk about it in negotiations, depending on whether I'll go to 135 or he'll come down to 125. I've cleaned out my division. He hasn't even defended his belt once. He's going against his first challenger. So definitely I'll entertain that idea, but we will need to sit down and negotiate pricing, pay, and what's going to happen, or what card we're going to be on.
Ray Borg was saying that he wants your belt more than you want that streak. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the last 10 men had the same mindset. See how far that got him. Them, not him. Them.
He says he'd give you an instant rematch if he beats you. Is that generous of him?
That's very generous. Will Hayes said the same thing. Next question.
Is there a magic number as far as that check, that prize you want?
Oh, fuck. I know. I said I want to be able to write Matt. No, sorry. You know what, man? I mean, if I get this record, then I'm gonna have a financial goal to where I open a check. There's $1 million there. There's seven figures. Yeah, 7 figures there. That'll be an awesome goal to have. But yeah, hopefully one day crack that 7-figure mark and then keep on moving forward. And I doubt we'll make it 8-figure, but. You never know, man. You never know.
Why is that a struggle for somebody who's on a 10-fight defense?
I don't know. I don't write the checks, so you're gonna have to ask the man who writes the checks. Like, why is this a struggle for you to write this man a 7-figure check? And then he'll give you the answer.
You've talked about there not being enough promotion going into fights. Do you feel like there's been enough going into this one?
Come one more time.
You've talked about in the past how you haven't felt there hasn't been enough promotion for your fights. Do you feel there's been enough for this one?
You know what? It's so damn hard. There's so many UFC fights. I was literally having breakfast. And I was talking to one of the guys who was here, and I was like, yo, he was like, yeah, I just got back from Rotterdam, I came here. And I was like, oh, you probably get to go back home to Las Vegas to be able to relax. He goes, no, I'm going to freaking Pittsburgh. I'm like, there's a fight card next Saturday? He goes, yeah, and I'm like, there's just too many back-to-back.
16 and 18 weeks.
16 and 18 weeks. It's just too many, You think about the Maymac, there was one boxing fight, and then you have the next one, which was Triple G versus Canelo Alvarez. Then I don't even know what's after that. You know what I mean? There's boxing match fights, but there's not even a big one. So I think for the UFC, maybe next year they'll sit down and rethink things, or maybe I don't know. I'm not part of the marketing team. I'm not part of the PR team of the UFC. But for me, you have a big fight coming up, which is the MSG. So it's almost like, for example, the Maymac fight they promoted UFC 217, which was the MSG, when they even had UFC 215 coming up and UFC 216 coming up. So they took a chance of like, you know what, we're not going to promote UFC 215, we're not going to promote UFC 216, we're going to skip both those and we're going to go ahead and show a promo for UFC 217. So when they're doing stuff like that, it's like, you know, you got to look at what they're going to do, and that's fine. I mean, like I said, I'm not part of that team. As for me, I would have shown UFC 215, because that's the next thing that's coming up. That's the one thing I want to focus on selling.
Edmonton hasn't seen an event like this. What can they expect when they see you step inside the octagon on Saturday?
Probably one of the greatest mixed martial artists to ever do it. You know, I'm very fluid in my transitions. I've displayed, you know, I can fight anywhere, and I beat the best.
Do the lower weight classes have to struggle with respect? Like if you're 205, we're probably not having this conversation about
No, I think you are still. No, they still having that. It's not a struggle about checks or anything like that. You know, everybody has a financial goal. You know what I mean? Like I said, for me to amass this many championships, you know, one day I would like to, you know. I remember when
You should be. 10 defenses.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I actually got like checked, and I was like, now that's a fucking, you know, an athlete's check. You know what I mean? I was very happy with that. You know, I want to do the same thing when I open a check. I'm like, that's a fucking world. That's a 11-time defending champion right there. Not basing off pay-per-view, not basing it off, you know, how many people come to the gate and all that stuff, based off what I've done, how many times I've defended my belt. You know what I mean? It's almost like if you're the highest seller, or you're the hardest working guy in your company, and next thing you know, your fucking boss surprised you with a fucking brand new BMW i8. That's more what I'm looking at. Just I appreciate you. I appreciate your professionalism. I appreciate your courtesy of always making it on time to do X, Y, and Z. You've never missed weight. We never had a problem with you with drug testing. You know what? I'm gonna show appreciation. I'm gonna reward you for your excellency. There you go, sir. And I'm like, you're very welcome. I'm just doing my job.
There seems to be this idea that, you know, the 125ers that you beat weren't as impressive as the 185 that Anderson beat. Do you think that might have something to do with how dominant you've been against these 125ers?
I would say so. I mean, how can you say that Joseph Benavidez is not better than Nate Marquardt? You know, how can you say Kyoji Horiguchi? You know, Kyoji Horiguchi's over there kicking ass in Japan. How can you say his skill set is, you know, I think Kyoji Horiguchi has a better skill set than Henderson. Dan Henderson has the right hand bomb in wrestling. Let's go down the line. You know, you look at John Dodson. How do you say John Dodson doesn't have a better skill set than Chael Sonnen? Really? Let's not fucking kid ourselves, guys. John Dodson's an amazing athlete. I mean, the list, I can just go down the list. So, like I said, once again, that's the public just perceiving certain things.
Demetrious, there's some concern in the local mixed martial arts community that maybe this is just a dry run for the UFC. They want to see the UFC come back down the road, and they think that may not happen. The reason why is the local combat commission that helps sanction this event is under investigation because a boxer died, and there's speculation that he wasn't fit to fight because he was coming off a medical suspension. Does that cause you any pause when you realize that the commission that's being investigated here has some control over the way this event is being run?
No, not at all, because you just answered the question yourself. You know, you said a boxer came in here and competed when he was still under medical supervision. He was still medically suspended. You know, if you get knocked out, you know, my brother-in-law just got knocked out from riding a bull. I said, dude, you're not riding a bull for 90 days. Give your brain the time to heal, and what's the point? It's not even to get a paycheck for riding that bull. Like, just stay off the bull. You're 16 years old. You act like you're 25 and you need to ride this bull. So, one, that guy was on medical suspension, so he shouldn't have been competing. Two, the UFC does a good job making sure we get all our medical stuff cleared. You know, I have had MRI, MRA, which I didn't need neither of those because I've never been knocked out. Got brand new blood work. Didn't need physical, but got EKG. Didn't need EKG. My EKG looks exactly the same that it did, I think 7 years ago. So the UFC makes sure they do their job, that we bring our paperwork to the commission, and the commission, you know, okay, everybody looks healthy, and goes. That's just the type of sport that we're in.
Yeah, but not all commissions are the same.
Not all commissions are the same, absolutely. You know, the New York commission is totally different from the Las Vegas to the, you know, California State Athletic Commission. So every commission has their own thing, and it's very unfortunate that a boxer had to suffer, you know, a death in order for this commission to get investigated. But as far as I'm concerned, the commission's good in my book. That's, you know, a little boo-boo that they let the man box, you know, with.
Would that be concerning to you though if you were fighting under the commission's rules here?
No, because I'm healthy.
No, I know you're healthy.
Oh.
But what if your opponent, you don't know the true medical history of your opponent, and you could do him damage, and then you'll be left in another.
Well, I'm going to do damage to him regardless, and he's going to do damage to me as well. So, but I'm not focused on that. You know what I mean? That's. I'm not like, hey.
I guess it's a hypothetical.
What's your temperature today? Let me take that. I mean, hypothetically, obviously, you want to. You know, that comes down to the promoter, which is the UFC. The UFC needs to like. You know, the UFC does a good job. If somebody's medically not cleared, they won't let them clear. You know, if one of these girls get a pregnancy test and it comes back positive, medically they're not cleared to fight because they're pregnant. So the UFC will pull them from the card.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Overall, I think we talked about that boxing opportunity, about the dangers that MMA boxing. Do you think it's the same, or a lot of people MMA feel boxing is more dangerous?
I think mixed martial arts training is way more grueling on the body than it is for boxing. But boxing, you have to, you know, when I saw Conor, he was like, oh, sparring day. I was like, Jesus Christ, you're sparring almost every day. Then they wear a headgear. Then in 12 rounds of just boxing. So I think they both go hand in hand. You know, boxing's very dangerous because you get concussions one after another. You get dropped over and over and over. Granted, I don't think Conor suffered a concussion or Mayweather. So I think even after that fight, like I felt tricked. I literally did. Like when Mayweather was like, smiling, I was like, you motherfucker. Because I mean, literally when it got done, you know, Conor said, I feel fresh. Mayweather was fresh. You know, he was dressed. I mean, it's just totally night and day. I mean, it depends on the fight. It depends who you're fighting. Yeah.
I think you told us.
I had distance control. It was really, it wasn't, that was for if I was going to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. But I would say like for the Conor McGregor fight, I did have Conor winning, I picked Conor to win the fight. The biggest thing that Mayweather did, and what all champions do, is that you adapt. You know what I mean? Like Conor, he went in there and he had one game plan. Now it's just be all over him. He didn't have the game plan to where it's like he's all over him. He was okay. You know, even Conor knew it afterwards. You know, Conor was like, you know, I spent so much of my energy trying to break down that barrier and all that stuff. So if I was in there, I would have been like, okay, I'm having a hard time breaking down this barrier. He's shelling up. Okay, so maybe I need to take my time and wait for him to overextend and hit him. Maybe he won't overextend, but then at least he would have more energy in those later rounds that he'll have an opportunity to catch that shot. That makes sense, especially when he's walking forward the whole time. And you know, Mayweather adapted. He goes, oh, he's it's a little bit more trouble. He'll tire though, so we're just gonna keep walking forward, become forward. He'll tire and we'll finish him. Energy management, and I think just adapting to what he was trying to do. I mean, Mayweather's done it before. People have pressured Mayweather before, Medina, Pacquiao, not much Canelo. But then I actually went back and watched Mayweather's fights to where he will, if a person pressure him, he will move, and pick shot. Then if they don't pick shot him or pressure him, then he'll pressure them. So he's always changing his game plan because he's fighting. And that's what he says. There's one thing I know how to do, and that's fight. And that's what he did. He didn't need a game plan, but he got him tired. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I admire his skill set. I admire the way he approaches the game of fighting, and it's smart. You know, it's not about who's tougher and all this stuff. It's about who can break down the opponent's weaknesses and playing that factor. Oh God, no. Yeah, exactly. What I mean, like I said, man, I remember when I first sat there and I freaking slugged it out with somebody. It didn't work out well, and then Matt goes, "You fucking idiot! What are you thinking?" I was like, slugging it out. Then he goes, "Dude, your gift is to be able to move and transition between different things. Why would I want to fight? Why would I want to get in a fist fight with somebody? I don't want to. So this is our style." Yes, I am. If it's good, it's good. I told him I wanted cashmere on my shirt, but they said no, so happened.